Life becomes better when you learn to accept the apology you never got. I want you to think about that. Many of us, especially on our road to sobriety, and just with regards to, really this is more of a matter of mental health, right? Even if you don't have a problem with an addiction, just in general, there are going to be times in your life where you're done wrong, right? Where somebody commits some kind of act against you, or microaggression, or, anything. There are many things that can irritate you in your life, right? Or maybe you grew up and you had parents that weren't too stellar. Maybe they were bad parents. Maybe they, had issues themselves. Maybe they were addicts. Maybe they weren't there. Maybe they, committed acts that, weren't in your best interest. Maybe they harmed you. There are a lot of different things. And a lot of this can cause people to drink and use drugs and whatnot, right? Maybe they weren't that great, but they died, they've passed, they're gone now, and they don't have an opportunity to come back and, you couldn't get closure or reconciliation. A lot of times that'll cause a lot of people, to become addicts, to, become codependent on either other people, other unhealthy people, or unhealthy addictions and vices and whatnot, right? And so, this is a very powerful quote in that you have to, in order to, one, go ahead and move on to live a healthier life. It's kind of like the same thing with regards to forgiveness, right? You have to accept an apology that you didn't receive. You have to, accept the fact that you may believe you were done wrong in a way that the person who committed the act may not have thought it was a big deal, or they never came back and sought closure with you. They never atoned for the wrongdoing. And yes, you can feel upset about it. You may have a right to feel upset about it. But the question you need to ask yourself is it worth it permeating your life to where you can't move on or harm yourself as a result of the closure that you never received? And the answer to that question is no. You deserve to move on, to have a healthy life, right? You deserve to not live a life of addiction or codependency on unhealthy people or things, right? That may have resulted from things in your past. You hear about young women who were raised maybe without a father or with a poor father, a father that wasn't there or wasn't good. And as a result, they become codependent on bad men, right? And after a while, they realize this, right? And it may be because they have issues with their father. And this goes to, for men as well, not having a relationship with their father. And then as a result, taking on addictions or, negative activities, right? And they may be able to point to that past. But the fact of the matter is, you deserve to move on from that. You deserve to have a healthy life. And if for no other reason, just like they say, forgiveness is not really a matter of, helping the other person out. It's a matter of helping yourself out. And this is a great way to look at it, because sometimes you may not look at it like, man, I don't want to forgive them. What they did, the act that they committed was terrible, or how they abandoned me was terrible. And I think that, this particular quote is one that really can help you find an empowered perspective, right? And that's, life becomes easier when you learn to accept the apology that you never got. And just look at it that way. Okay, this is an apology I never got. Person never came back, got right with me, but I accept their apology and I'm going to move on. And go ahead and move on to living a healthier and a happier and more joyful existence, because you deserve it. Don't worry about whether they deserve your forgiveness or whether they deserve for you to accept an apology they never got, right? You deserve to not mentally be killing yourself or destroying yourself physically through alcohol and drugs, right? Or negative activities. You deserve to live a life removed from that. You deserve a joyful life. You deserve it. This is a situation where you want to be selfish. You want to do it because it's what's best for you. And it is okay to be very selfish. I've always said this. It's okay to be very selfish with your sobriety. It's yours. Don't give it up for nobody else. Don't give it up to help somebody else be sober. Bump that. It's about you and yours, because you can't help anybody else until you help yourself. And this perspective is a great way to do that. So I hope that's something it pours into you. I hope it gives you something to think about, especially as you take this road to sobriety. Want to say shout out to all the sober soldiers out there, you know what I'm saying, fighting the good fight. And until later, peace.